Rare Music exclusive.
I grew up like a savage.
And the content was amazing.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong, it's like it's a new time, it's a new age. Of course, that new door opening for other, female artists is amazing. It's beautiful, but keep in mind there's a lot of mediocre shit going on because what door was open.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not for all women. If it work, it work. You know what I mean? If you're able to make your bag off of this, shit changes all the time, right?
And even with the mediocrity, like what you were mentioning, I see that also. But then I tell the dudes, like, at the same time, they still kicking y'all ass right now.
And that's another thing, because the content, and it's like, with women, it opens so many more doors because, honey, I'm on an interview. Yes.
Where's my Gatorade?
In your bag. Please, it is.
That's your own Gatorade.
It's not. What I was saying was, women is real, and I think it's because you got to understand there's so many different components that women can do and so many other endorsements that they can walk into. With men, it's kind of like the music and the merch, and that's kind of where it ends. Where women have the music.
Let's just keep it real, niggas way too cool.
They are.
Over cool.
But another reason why I feel like the mediocrity with women rap or whatever is damn near acceptable, because why can't women do less for more?
Right.
The same way these niggas have. These niggas are not actually talented, but now if it's catchy, if it's a good beat, a good hook, you in the door. That's the formula now, and it's nothing wrong with that, because if that's how they're listening and it's creating a a wave of people to succeed, then I'm all for it.
Right.
But it's just like you call milk. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You call a duck and it quack. So.
Ain't that the truth? So like. Earlier you mentioned parents, right? So you said parents, meaning plural. So you had a 2-parent household. So was that, and you in West Oakland? Now was that just because it seems like, what I'm saying, when we talk about whatever normal is, right? We say, okay, the Cosbys, right? You in West Oakland,
right?
That's not normal, right?
Yes.
So it's not. For your age group, it's definitely not like 2-parent households.
Right.
So how was that? Did you find did people come to your house to try to refuge and shit, like to try to see, like, damn, they always got snacks and shit. They be like,
that's my mama for sure. My mama was like, that's the way that I am. So like, I always have kids at my house. So my mama was the house for the kids. You know what I mean? Anybody want to come over, they come into my house. Now that was short-ended because my mom passed when I was 13. Keep that in mind. You know what I mean? So it was there, but it was short-lived. You know what I mean? So
rest in peace to mom.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, I think understanding like a 2-parent household is one thing, but you got to understand, like, just because a 2-parent household don't mean it's always happy, don't mean it's always perfect.
It's definitely dysfunction.
It can be dysfunction, it can be damage, and I think, the ideology of it is just like, oh my God, you're so lucky for this, but without doing too much or saying too much disrespecting my parents, but keeping that in mind that you in the crack era, you know what I mean? You are in this type of era to where it's just like, okay, this is a 2-parent household, but it's not necessarily a healthy, functioning household.
I had a 2-parent household, but now that you mention that, a 2-parent household and both parents on drugs, it's like, damn, because I know some people that had it similar but not the same. Some people had one parent on drug, and that one would always hold the other one up. You know what I'm saying? But if it becomes like drugs invade your house, which it did our whole community, you know what I'm saying? It get kind of hard. And you as a young lady at 13, losing your mom, how was that? Like, did you rebel? Did you keep focused? How was it? You rebelled?
I rebelled a lot because I always been like a school girl, like, you know what I mean? If you listen to how I speak, you know what I mean? I'm educated, but I think what it did for me was it just made me really angry because I didn't understand it. You going through the age of puberty, your womanhood, you starting to experience womanhood now.
It's all kind of emotions.
It's so many different emotions, and I'm just on go. So I'm fighting and I'm upset, I'm mad. Now I'm staying outside. Now I ain't, you know what I mean? I'm moving my brother after that. Like, I don't even want to stay with my pops. Like, you know what I mean? I'm out. So I think for me, as a woman, it's just so much, because when you're 13, it's like, you ain't even experienced sex, none of that stuff. So you just like, you don't have nobody to turn to. And me having so many men in my family outside of women, that was like,
was they overprotected?
My only woman. For sure. But I rebelled against that because you can't tell me what to do now.
Well, I was going to say, too, overprotective, too, but you being kind of like a tomboy, too, you kind of thinking like, well, who going to do something to me?
Right. And I've always been a type like, If it's necessary, then I'm calling.
Right.
If I can handle it, I'm gonna handle it. Because at the end of the day, I'm protective as well. Because it's just like, these my big brothers.
My
like, I don't want
brothers,
nothing
right.
happening to them.
Right.
So it's like, all right, if I'm fighting a nigga, it is what it is. We gonna go toes, and if it gotta get escalated, that's what it's gonna be. But if it don't have to, then you know you gonna handle your own. And I've never been confrontational. I've just been the follow up.
Right,
like, you know what I mean? It's not gonna be no disrespect, but you know, I'm not picking fights or bullying or, you know what I mean, like type time.
Sound like me too.
Because I'm very passive. I'm very for the people. I'm very much like, if it can be avoided, then it can be, and if it can't, then what's up? Like, you know what I mean?
So like on into high school, and like, had you ever done anything in the studio or got to any kind of music?
Yeah. So my brothers were rapping already before I was rapping. So I've just always had very bad studio anxiety. So I didn't been recording songs since I was like 12.
You just can't sit in there.
It just was like, I'm a perfectionist. So I like my shit to sound how it sounded when I rapped it, and not understanding like, okay, he might not got crates on the walls. Okay, he might got a shitty ass mic. He bought this mic from Craig. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I already knew how I wanted myself to sound, and just being very particular about that. If it didn't come out right, trash it. You know what I mean? So I was already doing music, and music has always been very, very up and down for me. And you know, officially as Ali Cocaine, I've been doing it coming up on 5 years. But this year has been the most intentional. Just as far as like, just even branding wise, you know, just taking my branding serious.
Oh, you've been going crazy.
Thank you.
So because like, also like, just me paying attention to you, I know that you love it. So when you saying that, being in the studio and being a perfectionist, I can see that. I can see, because I also do music, and I did music before, but kind of like, I stayed in the game because one thing for me is like, the environment was bootsy to me. So like, I've never been bootsy. Like, to me, I always been super raw. Like, and I was like, I don't belong here. Kind of like, you see what I'm saying? Like, and I can say, probably I'm older than you, but in your peak era, it was the hyphy movement, and I know that was really hard for a lot of us to digest. It's like, I gotta be taken serious. A motherfucker can't be laughing at me. I'm not no clown. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And so I can relate, and I can understand that. And hearing your music, I know that about you already. Like, you don't play when it comes to this shit.
I don't, because it's like, it's more business than it is just the music. And it's like, it's pros and it's cons, because it's just like, damn, I could have just put that out, and that would have been like, I would have had that history to look back on. I would have had that progress to look back on. But now when I look at my content, I'm just like, okay, it's scarce, but it's quality though. You know what I mean? And I realized everything that I did try to rush and go do, it didn't come out how I wanted it to. So now I'm like, I ain't gonna listen to that. But again, you know, with this year being so serious and intentional for me, now it's just like, okay, I can fuck with that. You know, like the last project I did, it was intentional. You know what I mean? It was a sound that he created for me, and it was very much Bay, but it had more flavor on it. You know what I mean? It wasn't just hyphy, it wasn't just 808s. It was like, you know, it was customized for me. And I think that's another thing. We don't have a lot of resources.
We don't, and I'm not gonna lie. I've been working with a lot of important people to try to change that, because like, I'm not the nigga to quit. I'm not. I mean, you see where I'm at.
We hustlers.
I'm for the people. Like, I'm naturally that person who want everybody to win. And I love where I'm from. Like, I can't cap. Like, I can't move to Atlanta and just be like, oh, this shit is, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be something in my mind, gonna be like, man,
I gotta bring it back home.
Man. So you know what I'm saying? I can't do it. So like, I always try to look out for my people and try to make sure we win. I don't give a fuck if it's some game, if I'm giving out whatever. People be like, you giving out all the game costs. Like, nah, nigga, I ain't. You know what I'm saying? I got a million ideas. You know what I'm saying? And even if I didn't, everything ain't for me.
Right. You know if I can pass along because I got the bug in my ear,
pass
it
along.
makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
For me, I think it's like a slippery slope with that, because I feel like in the Bay Area, we don't have a lot of business-minded people, but we have the hustle, we have the drive, and we have the ideas, and that's why a lot of people can come here, get game from here, and go apply it elsewhere, because not only that, they have the business module, they have the business formula, they just plugging shit in.
Absolutely.
They have the resources and everything, where there's a lot of people out here who have the minds, but they haven't stepped up and labeled themselves.
Absolutely.
So it's like, it's a lot of people who got record labels, but haven't exactly labeled themselves as such, or may have a budget and they can get behind a Oakland artist and a LA artist, like even if they wanted to mix it up, or, you know, a lot of people who are acting as A&R A&Rs, because with us, we carry a lot of hats. You may have a manager, but he's also the investors. He's also a marketing manager. He's also an A&R. Like, you know what I mean? So for me, I think it's really just about just cultivating and getting together with like-minded people and saying, okay, we're going to form something, maybe a co-op, maybe a partnership or something like that. Because I've been going to LA for the past 2 months, and it's like, nigga, I'm damn near out. You know what I mean? Because I've been rubbing shoulders with people out there in the past 2 months that I haven't rubbed shoulders with in 5 years, which I'm quite sure there's somebody out here that could have or could help me or assist me, but I don't know who they are.
Right.
You know what I
mean?
mean?
See, the thing is, you know what it is too. We don't the important people here, and I done got at all of them personally, because I'm not a nigga that won't say nothing twice, because I ain't got bad intentions. Right. But most of successful people here are in the business of themselves. Right. Meaning, like, if it's Fab's in the business of himself, E40's in the business of E40. That's what it is. There's no Yo Gotti. There's no nigga coming out laying $750,000 out on the table for an artist. Yeah. Because these young niggas can stay in the house and stop shooting. They can just go in the house, play the game. Now they got enough capital to actually make some capital.
And I think a part of that is also finding somebody who's as serious about their shit as they would be, because with us, we gonna be scarce with our money, because we got it. Ain't no telling what we have to do to get it. Absolutely. You know what I mean? When it's like, you know, a nigga from Atlanta, he putting that up, but it's like he doing X, Y, and Z, so he gonna you know what I mean? So I think the dynamics are a little different. It
is. And also, like you say, the network is different. Everybody's doing the same thing. Like-minded people is in the same place.
And then it's like a lot of people elsewhere are already like their own bosses and making connections with other bosses. So it's like that, opposed to them being a middleman who got their connection from a boss that's connected to this boss.
And we lost all our Southern hospitality over here.
You know what I mean?
Because they actually fuck with each other. Like, everybody ain't funking.
Yeah.
Like, you go to one studio here, and they be like, nah, them suckers be over there. You can't go over there. You can't go over there. You can't. Ain't no white zone over here. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's all bad. You know what I'm saying?
It's just like, you know, it just get real tricky. And it's just like I said, I feel like when people ask me what is the Bay missing to me, and I just always say business, branding, and resources, because there's a lot of low budget shit that come from here.
A lot of low budget.